what are the tools of the monetary policy? When I explained the fiscal policy, I said there are two main tools for the fiscal policy, which are government spending and taxes. Now, what are the tools of the monetary policy? For the monetary policy, we have three main tools. These are the three tools of the monetary policy. The first one is the minimum reserve requirement ratio, and the federal funds and discount interest rate, and the open market operation. Let me explain each one in details. So the reserve requirement ratio, I said in a previous video, so this is the minimum requirement which the bank has to keep. Is the minimum percentage the bank has to keep out of any new incoming deposits to keep it as a reserve, and the bank can lend the remaining percentage, and it's usually between 10 to 20%. So this is the minimum reserve requirement ratio. So what I mean by tool, it means that the federal bank can adjust this percentage. So for example, if it's 10% right now, the bank can make it 8%, 5%, can make it 20%, can make it 50%. So the federal bank can change such a requirement according to the state of the economy. The second monetary policy, which the federal bank can use it, is the federal funds and the discount interest rate. Again, the bank can change this interest rate. So let me explain further the discount rate. So when I explained the structure of the Federal Reserve System, so I said here we have the federal bank, yes, and here we have 11 or 12 district banks, number 1, number 3, and so on until 12. And each of these federal banks control or manage a couple of commercial banks. So the first interest rate I want to explain is the discount rate. So this is the interest rate paid by member banks whenever they borrow reserve deposit from the federal district bank. So let's say, as you remember, like the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago is the federal bank number 7. So let's say any commercial bank like Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, any bank in Chicago, if any bank in Chicago wanted to borrow some loans or borrow some reserve deposits from the Federal Reserve Bank in Chicago, this bank has to pay interest to the Federal Bank of Chicago. Such particular interest is called what? It's called discount rate. So this is discount rate paid by the commercial banks or paid by the banks, member banks, to the Federal Reserve District Bank. The second federal fund rate, which can be changed by the federal bank, is called the federal fund rate. I have a question here. Can a bank take loans from another bank? Yes, like for instance, can Chase Bank can take loans from Citibank or Wells Fargo Bank? Yes, the answer is yes. So banks can lend each other. But again, let's say if Chase Bank take loans from Citibank, so Chase Bank has to pay interest on the loan to Citibank. And this interest is called federal fund rate. Again, so discount rate, the interest rate by the member banks to the federal bank, while federal fund rate is paid by Bank A to Bank B. The last tool of the monetary policy is the open market operation, and this is a very important tool of the monetary policy. What do you mean by open market operations? When I explain the fiscal policy and when I explain the federal budget and the national debt, I said, so whenever we have the national debt or whenever we have a deficit in the budget, this budget is usually financed by what? It's usually financing by selling treasury notes or treasury bonds or notes or bills. So the federal bank can buy and sell these U.S. government securities. Okay, so bills is less than this is short-term investment. So this is, and notes and bonds are the federal bank can buy or sell this U.S. government security in the open market, mainly in New York. Okay. Why this is the case? So the federal bank can decide either to buy or sell based on the goal, whether the goal is to increase or decrease the money supply. So by buying and selling operating market securities, open market securities, the federal bank can control the money supply. And I'm going to explain this in detail in the next video when I explain the different types of monetary policy. Okay, so if you click on this link, you will see a definition of the open market operation from the website of the Federal Bank. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.